Hello everyone, myself Yojna Pudale, Assistant Professor from Padma Bhushan Vasantrao Dada Patil Institute of Technology, Budgaon. So in last lecture we have discussed the problems on properties of fluid, that is density and viscosity. So in this lecture we will discuss the problems on the remaining properties of fluids. So moving to the first problem, the problem statement is that calculate the dynamic viscosity of an oil when which is used for lubrication between a square plate of size 0.8 meter by 0.8 meter and inclined plane with angle of inclination 30 degree as shown in figure. The weight of the square plate is 300 Newton and it slides down the inclined plane with a uniform velocity of 0.3 meter per second and the thickness of oil film is 1.5 mm. This is about the problem statement. The diagram shows the inclined plane which is having an angle with horizontal as 30 degree and on the inclined plane there is a plate having the weight as 300 Newton and in between plate and inclined plane the thickness is 1.5 mm and in that space there is a oil and the plate is moving with an velocity of 0.3 meter per second in the downward direction. This is about the problem. So we have to find out here the viscosity of the oil which is placed in between the space of the inclined plane and the plate. So the given things are that the area of plate is given, that is 0.8 by 0.8, that is equal to 0.64 meter square. Then the angle theta is given, angle made by the inclined plane with horizontal, it is 30 degree. Then weight of the plate is given, that is 300 Newton and the velocity with which the plate is moving in downward direction it is given, that is 0.3 meter per second, which is represented by small u, and the thickness between the plate and the inclined plane is 1.5 mm. Means from inclined plane the plate is at a distance of 1.5 mm, so the change in distance, that is nothing but the dy, which is equal to 1.5 mm. So we have to convert that into meter, so multiply it by 10 raised to minus 3 and the viscosity of the oil is represented by mu, which is nothing but the dynamic viscosity. So for calculating this particular dynamic viscosity, again we have to use the Newton's law of viscosity here, that is tau is equal to mu into du by dy. As we know the value of du dy and value of mu we have to calculate. So here unknown is that the stress. So for calculating the stress we have to use the formula, that is force upon cross sectional area. So the cross sectional area of plate is given, that is 0.8 by 0.8 meter. So we have to calculate the value of force. The force required to move this plate with an velocity of 0.3 meter per second and the weight of the plate is given, means that weight is acting in a downward direction, that is W, which is equal to 300 Newton. So the component of this weight along the or with parallel to the inclined plane, we have to consider that force for the movement of the plate. Means we have to calculate the weight component parallel to the inclined plane and that is nothing but the force. So the angle between the inclined plane and horizontal plane is given, that is equal to 30 degree and suppose here we draw one horizontal line, then the opposite angle again it is equal to 30 degree. So the weight component parallel to the inclined plane, that is equal to 300 into cos of 60, because here with horizontal the angle made by inclined plane is 30 degree, and when we are drawing the perpendicular to the inclined plane, the remaining angle is 60 degree, means total angle is 90 degree, from which 30 degree is this much angle and remaining angle is 60 degree. So we have to consider the component of that weight parallel to the inclined plane. So the value of that W is W into cos of 60. So the value of W is known, that is 300 cos 60, which is equal to 150 Newton. So the force is 150 Newton. Cross sectional area is known. By putting these two value, we get the value of stress. Then by using the Newton's law of viscosity, the value of change of velocity is known, it is 0.3 meter per second. Value of change of distance is known, it is 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So by putting all known values in the equation, we can calculate the unknown value, that is nothing but the dynamic viscosity. So the value of dynamic viscosity is 1.17 Newton second per meter square, that is in SI unit. So for converting this Newton second per meter square to the CGS unit, that is poise, we have to multiply it by 10. So mu is equal to 11.7 poise, and that is our result here. Then moving to the next problem, again it is on the viscosity property. So the second problem is that the two large plane surfaces are 2.4 cm apart. The space between the surface is filled with glycerin. What force is required to drag a very thin plate of surface area 0.5 square meter between the two large plane surfaces at a speed of 0.6 meter per second? If first, that is the thin plate is in the middle of the two plane surfaces, and second one, the thin plate is at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from one of the plane surface. Take the dynamic viscosity of glycerin as 8.10 into 10 raised to minus 1 Newton second per meter square. So here two cases are given. In first case, the thin plate is placed between the two plane surfaces. This first diagram shows a thin plate which is placed at the middle of the two plane surfaces, and second, the thin plate is at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from one of the plane surface. So this diagram shows the thin plate which is placed at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from the bottom plate, and the two large plane surfaces are 2.4 centimeter apart, means the distance between these two plane surfaces, that is equal to 2.4 centimeter. So for first case, the top and bottom distance is same because the plate is placed at a middle, so it is equal to 1.2 centimeter and 1.2 centimeter. And in second case, from bottom it is 0.8 centimeter, so remaining distance we can calculate it by 2.4 minus 0.8, and that is equal to 1.6 meter. So for these two particular conditions, we have to find out the force required to drag a very thin plate of the surface area 0.5 meter square. So the force required, we have to calculate the force required to movement of this plate with an velocity of 0.6 meter per second, and this plate is having the cross sectional area, that is 0.5 meter square. So in first case, the distance between two large surfaces 2.4 centimeter, then the area of thin plate is given, it is 0.5 meter square, then the velocity with which the plate is moving, that is 0.6 meter per second, and the fluid, that is glycerin, having the viscosity 8.1 into 10 raised to minus 1 Newton second per meter square, and that viscosity is nothing but the dynamic viscosity. So when we are placing the plate in the middle between the two plane surfaces, so we have to calculate the top force and bottom force, and we have to add these two forces for getting the final force which is applied on the plate. So F1 we are representing that force, that is shear force on the upper side of the thin plate, and F2 that is again similar shear force on the lower side of the thin plate, and F is nothing but the total force required to movement of the plate. And for calculating this force we have to add these two forces, that is top force and bottom force here. So one by one we can calculate the value of F1 and F2. Again here you have to use the Newton's law of viscosity. So for top force we are representing that by tau 1 is equal to mu into du by dy suffix 1. Here the du is nothing but the change in velocity. Initial velocity is 0 and final velocity of the plate is given, it is 0.6 meter per second. So the change in velocity is nothing but the difference. So it is equal to 0.6 meter per second, and dy is nothing but the distance, and that distance in top part means this much distance, that is equal to 1.2 centimeter, because we are calculating here top force. So we have to consider the top distance, that is from the plate to the top surface, and that is 1.2 centimeter, means 0 from the top surface up to plate it is 1.2 centimeter, and the difference between these, that is equal to 1.2 centimeter. So we have to convert that into meter, that is equal to 0.012 meter. So tau 1 is equal to, the value of mu is known, it is 8.1 into 10 raised to minus 1, du is 0.6 meter per second, and dy is 0.012 meter. So by putting this value we get the answer, that is shear stress is equal to 40.5 Newton per meter square. So we have to calculate force here. So by using the formula stress is equal to force upon area, by rearranging the terms, force is equal to shear stress into area. So that is equal to tau 1 into A. The value of tau 1 is 40.5 here, into cross sectional area of plate is 0.5 meter square. So the top force is equal to 20.25 Newton. This is the value of top force. Similarly we can calculate the bottom force. Here the bottom distance again it is same, that is 1.2 centimeter, then velocity is same, then value of viscosity is same, because glycerin is placed in top as well as in bottom space. So all the values are same. So the stress and force, again the value is same. So the stress is 40.5 Newton per meter square, and the force is 20.25 Newton. So this is about the top and bottom force. So the total force is nothing but the addition of top and bottom force. So the total force is equal to F1 plus F2, which is equal to 40.5 Newton, and that is our answer. Means what? The force required to drag the thin plate when the plate is placed in the middle of two plane surfaces. Then the second case, the plate is placed at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from one of the plane surface. So we are considering here the plate is placed at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from bottom. So top distance is 1.6 centimeter. So here it is calculated as 2.4 minus 0.8, that is equal to 1.6 centimeter, and we have to convert that into meter multiplied by 10 raised to minus 2, means that is equal to 0.016 meter. So the shear force on the upper side or top side of the thin plate, that is represented by F1, and directly here the shear force is calculated as stress into area, and the value of stress is calculated from the Newton's law of viscosity, and here the formula is mu into du by dy1 into area. So the value of mu is known, that is 8.1 into 10 raised to minus 1. Velocity is 0.6, again the velocity is same, and distance dy, that is top distance, it is 1.6 centimeter, that is 0.016 meter, into area of the thin plate, that is 0.5. So the directly we get the value of top force, that is 15.18 Newton, or you can calculate the separately the value of shear stress, and from that you can calculate the top force. Then the shear force on the lower side of the thin plate. Again here we are directly calculating the force on the bottom part, that is F2 is equal to stress into area, and stress is calculated by Newton's law of viscosity. So that is mu into du by dy 2 into area of thin plate. So mu is known, then du again it is same 0.6 meter per second, and dy is nothing but the bottom distance, that is 0.8 centimeter. So convert that into meter, that is 0.8 into 10 raised to minus 2, and multiply it by the area of thin plate, which is 0.5 meter square. So we get the bottom force as 30.36 Newton, that is nothing but the F2. So the top force and bottom force is known. So the total force is addition of these two. So total force required is equal to F1 plus F2, that is equal to 15.18 plus 30.36, that is equal to 45.54 Newton, and that is our result, that is nothing but the force required to drag the plate which is placed at a distance of 0.8 centimeter from one of the plane surface. Then moving to the next question, the statement of the question is that the velocity distribution for flow over a flat plate is given by u is equal to 3 by 4 y minus y square, in which u is the velocity in meter per second at a distance y meter above the plate. We have to determine the shear stress at y is equal to 0.15 meter. Take the dynamic viscosity of fluid as 8.6 poise. So again we have to use here the Newton's law of viscosity for calculating the shear stress, and the velocity distribution for flow over the flat plate is given, that is the value of u is given 3 by 4 y minus y square. So for calculating the rate of shear strain, that is du by dy, we have to use this equation, means du by dy we can calculate it by using the equation u is equal to 3 by 4 y minus y square. So for calculating the du by dy we have to differentiate the equation of velocity with respect to y, means du by dy is equal to differentiation of this 3 by 4 y with respect to y is 3 by 4, and again differentiation of this y square with respect to y is 2y. So we get the value of du by dy directly here, that is 3 by 4 minus 2y, which is called as the rate of shear strain. And we have to calculate the shear stress at a distance of 0.15, means the value of y is given, that is 0.15. So put the value of y in the above equation, that is du by dy is equal to 3 by 4 minus 2 into 0.15. So we get the value of du by dy as 0.45 by putting the value of y as 0.15. Then the viscosity is given, it is 8.5 poise. So we have to convert that into SI unit. So divide it by 10 or multiply it by 10 raised to minus 1. So 8.5 by 10, that is Newton second per meter square. So all the values in the equation are known, only unknown is shear. The value of mu is 8.5 by 10 and du by dy, that is 0.45. So the answer, that is nothing but the shear stress, that is equal to 0.3825 Newton per meter square. This is about the shear stress calculation. Then moving to the next question, which is based on the surface tension property. So the problem states that the pressure outside the droplet of water of diameter 0.04 mm is 10.32 Newton per centimeter square at atmospheric pressure. Calculate the pressure within the droplet if surface tension is given as 0.0725 Newton per meter of water. So here we have to calculate the pressure within the droplet, and the outside pressure is given, that is 10.32 Newton per meter square. So the formula for calculating the pressure for the water droplet, that is 4 sigma by d, where P is nothing but the pressure, sigma is surface tension, and d is nothing but the diameter of droplet. So first we have to list out the given things in the problem. The diameter of droplet is given, it is 0.04 mm. Again we have to convert that into meter, multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. Then the outside pressure, that is pressure outside the droplet, is given, that is 10.32 Newton per centimeter square. We have to convert that into Newton per meter square. So for converting the centimeter to meter, we are multiplying it by 10 raised to minus 2. So here centimeter square to meter square, so we have to multiply it by 10 raised to minus 4, and that is in denominator. So in numerator, that 10 raised to minus 4 is nothing but the 10 raised to 4. So 10.32 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per meter square, that is the outside pressure. And the surface tension, that is nothing but the tensile force per unit length, and it is 0.0725 Newton per meter. So the inside pressure of the droplet, we can calculate it by using the formula P is equal to 4 sigma by d. So putting the value of sigma as 0.0725 and value of diameter as 0.04 into 10 raised to minus 3, we get the inside pressure or pressure within the droplet as 0.725 Newton per centimeter square. So here we have to calculate the pressure within the droplet. So we have to add the surface pressure to the pressure outside the droplet. So by adding the surface pressure and the pressure outside the droplet, that is 0.725 plus 10.32, we get the inside pressure, that is water pressure inside the droplet, as 11.045 Newton per centimeter square, and this is our answer. So the next problem, again it is based on the surface tension property. Here find the surface tension in a soap bubble of 40 mm diameter when the inside pressure is 2.5 Newton per meter square above atmospheric pressure. So here we have to find out the value of surface tension for soap bubble, means the inner and outer surface is in contact with air. So for calculating the pressure in case of the soap bubble, the formula is P is equal to 8 sigma by d, and the given things are the diameter of bubble is 40 mm, that is equal to 14 to 10 raised to minus 3 meter, and the pressure in excess of outside, so outside pressure which is above the atmosphere, it is given, it is 2.5 Newton per meter square, and by putting the value of pressure and diameter here, we get the value of surface tension. So pressure is 2.5 Newton per meter square then 8 into sigma divided by diameter is 40 into 10 raised to minus 3. So by rearranging the terms, we get the value of sigma, that is nothing but the surface tension, as 0.0125 Newton per meter. This is about the surface tension property and problems on the. So moving to the next problem, it is based on the concept of the capillarity or capillarity property, that is capillary rise or capillary fall. So the problem statement is that calculate the capillary effect in millimeter, because it is height, it may be capillary rise or capillary fall, and which is measured in terms of height, that is nothing but the in centimeter or in millimeter. In a glass tube of 4 mm diameter, when immersed in first one, that is in water, and second one, that is in mercury, the temperature of the liquid is 20 degrees centigrade, and the values of surface tension of water and mercury at that temperature, that is 20 degrees centigrade, in contact with air are 0.073575 Newton per meter and 0.51 Newton per meter respectively. The angle of contact of water is 0 and that for mercury is 130 degree. Take the density of water is equal to 998 kg per meter cube. So here two cases are given, when the glass tube is immersed in water and when the glass tube is immersed in the mercury. When we immerse the glass tube in the water, there is a capillary rise, and when we immerse it is in mercury, there is a capillary fall. Means here you have to find out the capillary rise, that is for water, and capillary fall, that is for mercury. And for calculating this capillary rise and fall, the value of surface tension for water and mercury is given. For water it is 0.073575 Newton per meter, and for mercury it is 0.51 Newton per meter. And the angle of contact, that is the value of theta, is 0 for water and 130 degree for mercury. And for calculating this, the density of water, we have to consider it as 998 kg per meter cube. So the diameter of pipe is 4 mm, that is 4 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. And for calculating the capillary rise or fall, the equation is same, that is H is equal to 4 sigma cos theta upon rho GD. So for first case, that is when we immerse the glass tube in the water, there is a capillary rise, and which is nothing but the capillary effect for the water. So for calculating the capillary effect for water, the value of sigma is this much. The angle for the water, it is given, it is equal to 0. Then density of water, that is mass density, is 998 kg per meter cube at a temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. So the all values are known in the equation. So simply by putting the values here, that is sigma, then theta is 0, then rho is 998, then value of g, acceleration due to gravity, is 9.81, and diameter is given, that is 4 into 10 raised to minus 3. So by putting all this value, we get the answer as 7.51 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So we have to calculate the capillary effect in millimeter. So we have to convert this meter into mm. So we have to multiply it by 10 raised to 3. So 7.51 mm, that is the value of capillary rise or capillary effect for the water. Then in second case, we have to calculate the capillary effect for mercury, that is nothing but the capillary fall. So for here, calculating the capillary effect, the sigma is known, the value of theta is known. So here we can calculate the mass density of our mercury by using the specific gravity. So here the value of specific gravity for the mercury should be known, and that is 13.6. So specific gravity, by using the formula of specific gravity specific gravity is equal to density of any liquid to the density of standard liquid, that is water. So here the specific gravity of mercury is 13.6. So we are multiplying it by the density of the water, which is mass density, that is 1000. So 13.6 into 1000 is equal to 13,600 kg per meter cube. So the capillary fall H is equal to 2.46 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. So we are converting that into mm, so it is 2.46 mm. So minus sign indicates here the capillary fall or capillary depression here. This is about the calculation of the capillary rise for water and capillary fall for the mercury in this particular problem. So moving to the next problem, that is find out the minimum size of glass tube that can be used to measure water level if the capillary rise in the tube is to be restricted to 2 mm. Consider surface tension of water in contact with air as 0.073575 Newton per meter. So in this particular problem we have to calculate the minimum size of glass tube. Size of glass tube means we have to calculate the diameter of glass tube. So here the liquid is water, means there is a capillary rise, and that capillary rise is restricted to 2 mm, means the value of capillary rise is equal to 2 mm, and the value of surface tension is given, it is 0.073575 Newton per meter. So these are the given things, that is H means capillary rise is 2 mm, that is 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Then surface tension is 0.073575 Newton per meter. Then angle for water, we should know the angle for water, that is equal to 0 degree. Then density of water is approximately equal to 1000 kg per meter cube or 998 kg per meter cube. So the equation for calculating the capillary rise is 4 sigma cos theta upon rho GD. As the value of theta is 0, cos 0 is 1. So the equation becomes 4 sigma by rho GD, or by putting the value of H as 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 sigma, then value of rho, then G, and diameter D is unknown, that is nothing but the size of tube. By rearranging the terms and calculating the value of D, the answer is 0.015 meter, and in centimeter it is 1.5 centimeter, means the minimum diameter of tube or size of this tube should be 1.5 centimeter. So with this we have completed the problems based on the different properties of fluids and the concept, that is the properties of fluids, then the different types of fluids, then the concept, that is the continuum. So in next lecture we are starting with the fluid statics. So thank you.